addition rule of probability. If you remember the addition rule, it was probability of two events A union B. Occurrence A union B means occurrence of A or B. Union means or. Was, as I told you, probability of A plus probability of B minus probability of occurrence of A and B simultaneously. Intersection means A and B, right? From your class 11. Now, here we are going to discuss multiplication rule of probability. But before multiplication rule, we are going to discuss something called as the independent events. What do you mean by independent events? Two events A and B are independent if the occurrence of one does not depend on the occurrence of the other. Does not depend on the occurrence of the other. Okay, this is what is meant by independent event. Example, let's consider a very simple example. If we define the event A as, let us say, heavy rain. Okay, and if I define the event B as Mr. X passing an exam, then can you say that they depend on each other?
So they have no relation then.
They have no relation at
They-
all, right? So here A and B are said to be independent events. A and B are said to be independent or independent events. Okay, that is what we mean by independent events. Now, multiplication rule of probability is applicable only when the events are independent. If A and B are independent events, then the probability of occurrence of A and B simultaneously, A intersection B, or probability of occurrence of A and B is equal to the product of the individual probabilities, product of the uh, product of the probabilities of the individual occurrence. Okay, so PA intersection B we write as PA into PB. This can be extended to 3 events also, 4 events, 5 events, and so on, to n number of events. If there are n events, A1, A2, An, all independent, then we can write PA1 into PA2 and so on up till PAN. Okay, this is called the multiplication rule of probability. So addition rule of probability is applicable for A union B, occurrence of A or B, and multiplication rule is applicable for occurrence of A and B, of course, where A and B are independent events. Okay, if they are not independent, then we cannot apply this definition. Next, I have given you a theorem. It's a very important theorem. I've given you the proof also. Let us very briefly discuss the proof. That if A and B are independent events, then A bar and B, A bar means the complementary event of A, and B are also independent. And the second is that A bar and B bar, that is complementary event of A and complementary event of B, are also independent. Let us try the first one. Now, first of all, we see that A and B are independent events. Therefore, we can write, if A and B are independent, we can write PA intersection B must be equal to PA into PB. Okay. Now look at one. We need to show that A bar and B are independent. Okay. That is complementary event of A and B are independent. Now, if you see there is no bar above B, right? So we start with B. B can occur in two mutually exclusive ways. You remember the definition of mutually exclusive? Do you remember the definition of mutually exclusive? Mutually exclusive means what? That they cannot occur together, right? These two events mutually exclusive mean they, yes?
That cannot happen, which means that they cannot occur together.
They cannot occur together. That means A intersection B is an impossible event, right? That is what I had mentioned in class 11. So here B can occur in two mutually exclusive ways. What are the mutually exclusive ways? That is A and B both occur together, or not, even not together. A and B both occur. A occurs and B occurs, right? Not together maybe. Okay. See, A occurs and then B occurs, or B occurs and then A occurs. And then you can have um, A does not occur. Before going to that, let's see what this means notation wise. If A and B both occur, that means A intersection B occurs, right? And if A does not occur, and B occurs, right? Isn't it? These two events can happen. The event B can occur in these two ways only. Either both occur or A does not occur, only B occurs, isn't it? So that is A bar intersection B occurs, isn't it? Yes. So therefore, the event B is A intersection B union A bar intersection B. Because of this OR, union is because of this OR, right? So B can occur when A and B both occur, or when A does not occur and B occurs, right? Now, if these two are mutually exclusive, then what can we say if we take probability on both sides? PB is equal to P A union B, sorry, A intersection B, A intersection B union A bar intersection B. Now, what happens if these two are mutually exclusive? You can add up the individual probabilities, right? A union B plus P A bar intersection B, isn't it? If you remember, you can add up the probabilities if they are mutually exclusive. So this event and this event are mutually exclusive. You understood what I did? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. If you take this as C and if you take this as D, then what will happen? That is this is the explanation. C union D.
C union D.
PB is equal to PC plus PD, isn't it? If C and D are mutually exclusive, right?
Mutually exclusive, yes, sir.
That is why I have written in this way. Okay, so remember this. We'll be using this a lot. Now what will happen? We know that A and B are independent events. Therefore, you can write A union A intersection B. I'm confusing with this. This is A intersection B. You can write this as PA into PB plus PA bar intersection B. That means P A bar intersection B is PB minus PA into PB, taking this side. Now what you can do, you can take PB common. You're left with 1 minus PA, which is equal to PB into, what is 1 minus PA? It is PA bar. That means what have you shown? You have shown that intersection of these two events is equal to product of their individual probabilities. That means A bar and B are independent, right? And that is what you needed to prove for the first part, right? Similarly, A and B bar can be proven to be independent, which I have not shown, but you can, very similar manner. How can it be proven to be independent? The event A can occur in two mutually exclusive ways. Let's say by taking A is equal to A and B both occur, or A occurs and B does not occur, and then proceeding exactly in the similar manner. Okay, so I hope this is clear.
Yes, sir.
Now the second part is how to prove that they are A bar and B bar are independent. Given A and B are independent, how to prove A bar and B bar are independent. Okay, so in this case, we start with probability of A union B. Okay, probability of A union B, you know, is 1 minus probability of A union B whole bar. This is follows from the definition of complementary events, because A union B bar is the complement of A union B. This you can write as 1 minus P A bar intersection B bar. If you remember class 10, De Morgan's law.
11.
Yes, class 11. Class 11, De Morgan's law, right? Now what will happen? That means P A bar intersection B bar P A bar intersection B bar must be equal to 1 minus PA union B, right? And from the addition rule, we know that PA union B is PA plus PB minus PA intersection B. Open the brackets, 1 minus PA minus PB plus PA intersection B. Now, since E and B are independent events, I can write PA intersection B is equal to PA into PB, because it is given that A and B are independent events. So what do we have? 1 minus PA I take together minus, and from these two I take PB common to get 1 minus PA. So what are we getting? 1 minus PA into 1 minus PB. What is 1 minus PA? PA bar. And what is 1 minus PB? PB bar. That means you have shown that the intersection of these two events is equal to product of their individual probabilities. That means A bar and B bar are independent. If it is given that A and B are independent, then you can say that A bar and B, A and B bar and A bar and B bar are independent. That is what it means. Okay. So now see, I've given you a working rule here. This working rule we'll be using in the sums. Okay. That is probability of A1 union A2 union up till AN can be written as 1 minus PA bar, 1 minus PB bar, and so on. In fact, this is the step that I'm talking about. This is the step. In the working rule, we'll be using this step for n events. Even for 3 events, we may be using. For 4 events, we may be using. Okay. So continuing here, Let us take an example. Example here is, let a pair of fair coins be tossed. If A is the event, write the event. A here is heads on the second coin. Heads on the second coin. And B is the event. Heads on the first coin, sorry. A is the event, heads on the first coin. B is the event, heads on the second coin. And C is the event, heads exactly on heads on exactly one coin. Okay, so these three are the events given. Now you need to check whether these three events are pairwise independent. Pairwise independent means to check whether A and B are independent, to check whether B and C are independent, to check whether A and C are independent, and also to check that whether all three are independent or not. Okay, so the question has three parts. Okay, so first let us write down the sample space. Pair of fair coin toss. What is the sample space?
Head, 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 tail, tail, head, tail, tail.
This is the sample space, right? Now A is the event that you are getting heads on the first coin. Heads on the first coin means only this one, right? HT. HH and HT, sorry. Heads on the first coin. This is also the event, favorable event, isn't it? HH, HT. This is the event. What is the event B? Heads on the second coin. Heads on the second coin means this is the event and this is the event. So you have HH and TH. And what is the event C? Event C is exactly heads on exactly one coin. And that means exactly one head. So this is our event. This is our event, right? HT and TH. Right? Now we want to check whether A and B are independent. So what you do is you first find out A intersection B. What is A intersection B? It is HH only. Therefore, what is the probability of A intersection B? How many events are there? Only one. And what is the total number of events? 4. So 1 by 4. Right? And similarly, you find out B intersection C. What is B intersection C? B intersection C is only TH. Right? So what is the probability of B intersection C? Again 1/4. Next, probability of C intersection A. Let us first find out C intersection A. What is the event C intersection A? C intersection A is HT only. So therefore, what is the probability of C intersection A? It is again 1/4, right? Fine. So now let us check. PA into PA intersection B is equal to 1/4. Now what is PA into PB? What is the probability of A? Let us find out probability of A. What is the probability of A here? How many events in A? 2. So 2 by 4, which is half. PB is also equal to 2 by 4, isn't it? And PC is also equal to 2 by 4, which is equal to half. So now let us check. PA into PB is what? Half into half, which is 1/4. And what is 1/4 equal to? PA intersection B. That means A and B are independent. Is it clear, the concept? Similarly, you can show. Similarly, B and C, comma C and A are independent. I've shown you the working. That means if A and B are independent, B and C are independent, C and A are independent, that means A, B, and C are pairwise independent. pairwise independent. Now let us check whether all three are independent or not. Okay. In order to do that, first we find out A intersection B intersection C. You see that A intersection B intersection C is a null set. That means A intersection B intersection C is an impossible event. That means probability of an impossible event is 0. Right? Now let us check. What is PA into PB into PC? It is half into half into half. Right? Which is not equal to this, right? Which is not equal to 0. That means what can you conclude? A, B, and C are not independent. Okay, they are pairwise independent, but all three are not independent. I hope this is clear. Moving on to the problems now from the multiplication rule. Look at the first one. Given here, PA is equal to, number one, given here, PA is equal to half. PB is equal to 1/3. PA intersection B is equal to 1/4. Right? We need to find out the value of PA bar. Now, PA bar is very easy. PA bar is equal to 1 minus PA, which is equal to 1 minus half. We have got half. Next question is PA union B. Probability of A union B is, from addition rule, PA plus PB minus PA intersection B, which is equal to PA plus PB minus PA intersection B. Okay, so you get this as 7/12. Second one is also done. Next, we want to find out PA bar intersection B. Okay, so now see here, PA bar intersection B. This we need to find out. Now see, there's no bar above B. So we have B can occur in two mutually exclusive ways. What are the ways? A and B both occur, or
Either A or B occurs.
A does not occur and B occurs.
B occurs.
Right? So these two are mutually exclusive. So we can write PB is equal to P A intersection B plus P A bar intersection B. Right? That means what is P A bar intersection B? It is equal to PB minus PA intersection B. Put the values. PB is how much? PB is given to you as 1/3. And PA intersection B is 7/12. Right? You find this out to be 1/12. Clear with this?
Yes, sir.
PA bar intersection B bar. Next question is PA bar intersection B bar. Just give me a minute. Okay. So PA bar intersection B bar, from De Morgan's law, what can you write? PA union B whole bar, right?
Yes, sir.
And 1 minus PA union B bar is 1 minus PA union B. You know the value of PA union B? How much is it? PA union B we found out to be 7/12. So 1 minus 7/12, which is equal to 5/12. Fine. So this is also done. And the last one, P A bar union B. Again, P A bar union B. Okay, it seems that there is a small mistake in the question. PA intersection P A union B bar, this should be okay. This should be P A union B bar or A intersection B bar. A intersection B bar it should be. Okay. PA intersection B bar. We find it exactly the way we found this here. Okay. So see, there is no bar above A, right? So that means you can write A is equal to A and B both occur, or A occurs and B does not occur.
It does not occur.
And we proceed exactly in the similar manner. So PA is equal to PA intersection B plus PA intersection B bar. That means
What is the weightage of probability?
what?
Weightage means how much marks you will get.
Probability, you have huge part in your section A. I think it should be probability should come to around 12 to 15 marks.
Oh.
So this is PA. How much have we? Is it given here? PA is given to be half, and PA intersection B is given to be 1/4. So half minus 1/4 equal to 1/4, and that is your answer. You have a next second part to this question, which states that also state whether A and B are mutually exclusive. Now, are A and B mutually exclusive? When are the events mutually exclusive? A and B will be mutually exclusive
When they do not occur together,
together. That means what?
they both are distinct.
In terms of mathematics, PA union B must be equal to PA plus PB, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Because PA intersection
Yes.
B is 0. So now what is PA union B here? We have already found, or it is given here. PA union B, we have found this out to be 7/12.
Mm.
And how much is PA plus PB?
PA plus 0.
Half is PA. Why 0?
Oh.
PB is given to be 1/3. So half plus 1/3, which comes out to be 5/6. Are they equal?
6. No.
That means they are not mutually exclusive. That is PA union B is not equal to PA plus PB.
So if they will be mutually exclusive, then they will cancel each other, and
Which one will cancel
it
each
will
other?
like right hand side is equal to left hand side.
If they are mutually exclusive, then the left hand side must be equal to the right hand side, right? But here we are left hand side we are getting 7/12, right hand side we are getting 5/6. So therefore they are not equal, and therefore A and B
They
are
are not mutually
not mutually
exclusive.
exclusive. So remember, in case of mutually exclusive, we can add up the probabilities, right? And in case of independent events, we can multiply the probabilities, right? So this is the first part. Next part of the question is, are they mutually exhaustive? Now, what do you mean by exhaustive? If A and B are mutually exhaustive. If you remember, I told you in class 11, mutually exhaustive, when I was giving you the introduction to probability. Okay, if you don't remember, now remember now. If A and B are mutually exclusive, then A union B must be a sure event. Right? That means
Means A union B will be there.
probability of A union B must be equal to 1, isn't it? So here,
Because
what
it's
is what is the
surely
probability of A union B? Probability of A union B is 7 by 12.
7
Yeah.
by 12.
Probability of A union B is 7 by 12. That is, A and B are not mutually exhaustive. Not mutually exhaustive, right?
What's the
So I hope this is clear. Remember these. This is a very important example. Equally likely. When are the events equally likely? A and B are said to be equally likely events if probability of occurrence of A is equal to probability of occurrence of B, isn't it? Right?
So I need to revise. I forgot everything.
Yes, equally likely. From English only you can say equally likely means my chances of passing or failing are equally likely, means 50-50, half, right? So here,
Means the probability will be half.
not exactly, it can be 1/3 also. Even then they are equally likely.
Hmm.
Probabilities have to be equal. So here what is PA? PA here is half and PB here is 1/3. They're not equal. That is PA not equal to PB. Hence, A and B are not equally likely. Is it clear? Sumit Gupta, are A and B are
Yes, sir.
independent? When are the two events independent?
When they are not dependent on each other means
Okay, but
they both
mathematically,
mean
A and B are independent if probability of occurrence of A and B is equal to
Are
product of their, yes,
there
tell me,
PAPB.
PAPB, yes.
what is PA intersection B here? How much is PA intersection B? 1/4.
1/4.
1/4, yes, sir.
And what is PA into PB?
PA into PB.
But say let's see what is PA. PA is half given, PB is 1/3.
Yes, sir. 1/3,
And
1/6.
Half into 1/3, which is 1/6. Are they equal?
no,
No, sir.
That means they are not
means it's
independent.
not independent.
Not independent.
That means that is PA intersection B is not equal to PA into PB. That is A and B are not independent events.
This property is also called commutative property.
No, it's
No,
not called
even.
commutative. A and B are called independent events. Okay. Fine.
So which
Commutative
property is called commutative?
property is commutative with respect to many things. Addition is commutative means A plus B must be equal to B plus A. Union is commutative means A union B is equal to B union A. Intersection is commutative means A intersection B is equal to B intersection A. Okay, it can be with respect to many things. Subtraction is not commutative, as A minus B is not equal to B minus A.
Minus A.
Okay, multiplication is
Hmm.
commutative because A into B is equal to B into A.
Into
Understood?
A.
So that is what commutative means. So commutativity is a completely different concept. Okay.
Okay.
So that is what we have 5 minutes. Maybe if I can do a second one. Yes, let us try out the second one. It's an easy problem. It is better if you write all these problems along with their solutions, because this is what I'm going to give in the question paper. No other problem from outside. It covers everything that is there in your syllabus. All these problems that I'm sending you, it covers everything that is there in the syllabus. Everything. Number two, A and B are two independent events. The probability of both A and B occur is 1 by 6. The probability that neither A and B occurs is 1/3. Find the probability of occurrence of A. So A and B are independent events. So that means given here is that PA intersection B is equal to PA into PB, right? Because they are independent. The probability of occurrence of both A and B is 1 by 6. That means also what is given here is PA intersection B is equal to 1 by 6, right? And probability of occurrence of neither that neither A or B occurs. Now, what do you mean by neither A or B occurs? A does not occur and B does not occur, right? This is the event that neither A nor B occurs. Am I right? Isn't it? So what is given here? P, A does not occur and B does not occur. Neither A nor B occurs is given to be 1/3. So this is your 1 and this is your 2. From these two, we need to find out probability of A, occurrence of A. So I say let PA is equal to X and let PB is equal to Y, right? So from 1, PA intersection B is equal to 1 by 6. That means PA into PB, because they are independent, PA into PB is equal to 1 by 6. That means XY is equal to 1 by 6. Since we need to find out the probability of occurrence of A, let's find out Y in terms of X. Y is equal to 1 by 6X, right? Now look at the second one, second equation. PA A bar intersection B bar. Also P A bar intersection B bar is equal to 1/3. Now if A and B are independent, A bar and B bar will also be independent. That means I can write this as PA bar into PB bar is equal to 1/3, right? That means PA bar is how much? 1 minus PA. And PB bar is how much? 1 minus PB. What is PA? PA we have taken as X. So this is 1 minus X. And PB we have taken as Y. So this is 1 minus Y. Now we know Y is equal to, from 1 we get Y is equal to 1 by 6. Put it here. Okay, which is equal to 1/3. Okay, so we are getting an equation here. What is the equation that we are getting? If you multiply everything and write it as a quadratic, you are going to get here 6x square minus 5x plus 1 equal to 0. Now you can solve this quadratic. 6x square minus 3x minus 2x plus 1 is equal to 0. That means 3x into 2x minus 1 minus 1 into 2x minus 1 equal to 0. That means 2x minus 1 into 3x minus 1 is equal to 0. That means either x is equal to half or x is equal to 1/3, right? And that is what you have to find. That means either you have to find out the probability of occurrence of A. X was PA. So either PA is equal to half or PA is equal to 1/3. That's your answer. Clear? Any question?
No, sir.
I'll stop here.